Kultured Kast has been created for entertainment and educational purposes. The advice given are opinions of our host and not of medical advice. The podcast is not a substitute for direct, personalized, professional medical care and diagnosis. Exercises and dietary advice mentioned should be discussed with your physician or personal trainer to find out what is best for you.
You want to get fit? How about Ultra Fit? Come grab your Ultra Fit meals at Athletic Culture. You'll love it.
This episode of Kultured Kast is made possible by Paul Sadlin Motors, your local Chevrolet, Buick, GMC, Cadillac dealer on Bayfield Street in Barrie and online at paulsadlin.com.
Welcome to the next episode of Kultured Kast with Big Papa Mac, CJ Fitness and Pro Performance Training, known as the big guy, the pretty boy, and the old man. Please remember to like and subscribe our YouTube channel. Honored to have our next guest on, Lola Montez. I'm going to get right to your background. You know, the three of us discussed prior how honored we are to have a top 3 Olympian here and UK Arnold's champion here. On that, your accolades in the last 24 hours, like we just talked off camera about how you basically went from 0 to hero. First to do this, right out of the gate.
Right.
What was that experience like?
Well, it's those are a double-edged sword, because the thing with being first, or the thing with getting there the fastest, is you do have some makeup time. You do have some makeup time. So for me, yes, it was an amazing experience to be able to kind of like accomplish that for myself, because I knew that I could get there, and I knew that getting there the fastest ultimately was going to solidify my progression and my career in a sense. So when you think about that and you think, okay, after this show, I jump in the show and now I'm a pro. And now I'm in that show in particular, I turned pro at the Arnold's in 2018. And for those who don't know, when you win an Arnold's as an amateur, you automatically qualify for the next year, to kind of like, get your feet wet with the pros is what I like to call it. So in a sense, like that was an amazing experience, but also a daunting one. And also a humbling one. So when you stand up against the pros, you realize, honey, you got a lot of space to fill, right? So it's one of those things where it's like you find yourself, or I have found myself playing catch up on the big stages with the bosses, right? Yeah. And I think that is a testament to why I'm able to not only like handle myself, but not only be able to like kind of have this like tenacity to go into these big shows, go into these battles, go into these wars, and feel like I got this, right? Regardless of the experience, regardless if I came here fast, I think it's a trifecta of mental, right? Believing in yourself, genetics, obviously, and having that dedication and hard work, right? So
yeah. Well, I was just about to go there with you.
Right.
In 2018,
right?
You're an amateur. You're backstage at the Arnold's.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I know what I've been backstage. You've been backstage, Jeff. Like I'm shivering like a dog shitting razor blades. I'm so nervous, and I'm going out in a little regional thing.
You gotta get that checked out.
I know. Trust me.
Yeah, you might need to go get that.
Yeah. You might need to get something checked. You might need medical attention. Yeah. I know you do. We're not going to go there till later. But tell me about your mental state when you were back. Like, were you nervous? Were you like, okay, I'm here, game on?
I'm always nervous. Like after backstage, I'm always nervous.
Okay.
I think, again, that speaks to a level of like humility. I feel like, I think that's really looked at as like sometimes like a weakness where you're very unsure, but no, like I feel like it's kind of checking yourself.
Okay.
Right?
Yeah. So
because I kind of like, I'm rising from that place of humility, I know what I'm capable of, and I know I've made it to this point. Funny thing, at that show, so many things went wrong. I lost my button in line to go on stage. So I'm in line. I'm like, the announcer's like, is this anybody's first time? Of course, it's my first time. You could tell, right? But I'm like, is anybody's first time? I lift up my hands and I'm like, yeah, it's my first time. I'm a little sweet, cute voice, right? And everybody was kind of like, ooh, girl, you're about to get blown out, right? And in that moment, there's two things you can do, right? You can absorb the salty energy in the air and kind of get a little shriveled up and a little nerves.
Yeah.
Or you can reach back into that humility and that self-humility and be like, girl, you thought this and look what you've been through in your life and you got through it. You thought this and you overcame that, or you know what I mean? Like, so there's so much I think there's so much telltales we could take from our past. There's so much humility we could take from our past.
Absolutely.
To power us through whatever it is that we're doing, because we've already been through it, gone through it, and we're here living and we're here prospering.
Yeah.
So, okay, back to the story now. So I'm in line. It's my first time. They're like, check your buttons. I realized I don't have my button. I didn't know, it's my first time.
Yeah.
I didn't know I was supposed to have this button. So I'm like, okay, I'm checking. I think I even checked my hair at one point because I had this braids thing going on. And I ran in heels out into the audience. I kid you not. I had the security guys like, sis, you gotta calm down. This ain't 100 meters. Like, you about to pull something. But I was like, I gotta get this button.
Yeah.
Right? I'm class C. Luckily, I lined up for the wrong class. It was class B.
Oh.
So I had a little bit of time, right?
Good.
But I'm in the audience watching these ladies pose, freaking the F out, tears coming down my face, trying to keep it all in. Because it's chaos. Shit happens, right? It's chaos.
Yeah.
Anyway, long story short, someone else had my button. And they just casually strolled in at that moment to watch the show.
No way.
Yeah. And it was an assistant I had at the time with another team or whatever. So again, put my track shoes on because I come from track. My background's track. I sprinted from one end of the auditorium to the next. I'm about to go on stage and I'm running around like a mad person. Grab my button. Did honestly, I think I did a triple jump, okay, to get backstage. And I went on stage, composed myself, and you would have never thought that I had just
Sprinted,
freaked out, honey, it was a mess.
You went on stage and then won.
And won.
And if you didn't win that show, then you might have had a career in track and field.
Well, honestly, I actually came from track.
Tell us about that transition.
So growing up, I did track and soccer, track and field. So field events and track events. So it was a weird thing because, like I said, that place of humility, that place of humbleness growing up, it was very tough for me. So sports and athleticism is just something I kind of gravitated towards. I felt like I was kind of teleported into a different realm. I don't know. It sounds weird, but when I am exerting physical activity or type of sports challenging competition, it almost feels like it's some type of Infinity War thing going on, right?
Oh, really?
I literally transform. So from a very young age, regardless on the sport, regardless on what it is, I would pick it up and learn it like that, like that. So at my school, growing up, I would do, I think I tried for the first time, I think it was javelin, shot put, long jump and triple jump I always loved. But yeah, and I made it to, I don't know if you guys are familiar with LAFSA, OFSA.
Yeah,
It's a track.
Yeah.
I made it first try right there.
No way.
Right there. And I think it's a kind of a testament to when you dig, when you believe, right? It's a mental thing.
Oh,
right?
yeah,
You think you're
100%.
that superhuman hero. I know you can't fly yet, but
Because you transformed there.
Right.
Because there's people that have been trying to be good at those things for so many years,
Yeah.
and then you come on and do it one time, and there you go. Just like with the bodybuilding.
Yeah.
You're like that. You're a natural athlete. You pick up something and you're good at it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think
Yeah,
that
you should
there's
see this guy at the basketball arcade.
Yeah.
He's on fire.
Yeah.
exactly, and I think that there's certain things that you kind of take a liking towards, right?
For
So, sports, athleticism, anything to do with physical activity, I would do flag football. I used to run. I used to play football. I was on my football team.
Awesome.
I was the Manhunt, y'all remember Manhunt?
Manhunt?
Oh, yeah.
Remember Manhunt?
I love
Yo,
Manhunt.
Manhunt.
Oh my god.
So safe to say that you're super competitive.
Man, super
Yeah,
fucking competitive,
Yeah.
bro.
Okay, so where if you guys don't mind me, like, I'll keep going. Where was the pivot from all those athletic endeavors to I'm going to become number one in figure and bodybuilding?
Honey, now we get into life. Now we get into life. The pivot was life.
Oh, was it really?
Yeah, it was because again, I feel like there was always a gravitational pull towards these type of athletic competitive things. But I think that was also because it was something I really enjoyed. It helped me kind of escape. It helped me kind of get away from the problems that maybe I was experiencing at home or whatever.
Yeah.
So like in high school, I was on the soccer team and I ended up rolling my ankle. And it wasn't a crazy injury. It wasn't something serious. It was probably the first time I ever like felt pain really, in that sense, right? But it put me down for some time and then life ended up happening. I ended up having a child really, really young, still in high school. And then my support, or what should have been my support system, basically just deteriorated. So in a sense, I really had to switch my mindset from, teen doing stupid teen shit to like, now you're a grown ass woman, honey, it's survival mode.
Like figure it out.
Yeah.
Let me ask one more question before we go on, because I'm so I don't know, just blown away that you're out now. Like I know what it's like to be backstage with that button. Like that thing's gold.
Yeah.
That's your identity. You don't have a name in those shows. You have a
Not
number,
yet.
right?
Not yet.
That's a very
Yes.
good point. So you're triple jumping and sprinting through. You get backstage for the C class. You finally get back there. What switch did you flip to go, okay, I'm going to go on and win? What made you go,
Again, I think going through shit is very powerful.
100%.
And the sport of bodybuilding, I'm gonna use that word again, I'm gonna use it all day, the sport of bodybuilding. It's very mental. It's
for sure.
It's par and par, sometimes even more so mental than physical. Yes, the physical is always there, it's obvious, we know that. But
Yeah.
what you don't see is the mental part. And that is the toughest part, getting through a prep, getting through, you know what I mean? Like being able to go on stage, all that kind of stuff. So I think when you come from a place where mentally you didn't have the best start in life, I think that sometimes ends up being a benefit because you're able to kind of like dig into yourself again and look at the things that you've overcome and realize like, this ain't shit. You know what I mean? Like in the bigger scale of what you've been able to overcome.
Yeah.
Right.
I love that.
When I think when you brought up the nervousness behind, like backstage, I find that if you're not nervous, you're really not doing anything that's that important to you.
Yeah, you're not that passionate.
You're not
That's a
that
good point,
passionate
pal.
about it. And if you're nervous, like you're like, all right, I'm supposed to be doing this because I love it so much and I care about it. You know?
Yeah, that's a really good point.
Yeah, I agree. Like in the UK, when I was doing the Arnolds, I was backstage and I was like, like honestly. And then I remember there was another competitor there. Shout out Corey Morales, Fit Doc's wife. And she was like, girl, why are you so nervous? Like you about to win this whole shit, like relax, right?
Yeah.
And I'm like, no, but you don't get it. Like it stems much deeper than that. And who in the world has that type of arrogance to assume that they could jump in and win any show, even if their body, their genetics, that they have the trifecta? I think sometimes that could be to our detriment. My opinion.
Yeah.
That's all.
Yeah.
I think sometimes going in a little bit with that mentality, like anything could happen.
Yeah.
I think sometimes it allows you to fight a little harder.
No, for sure.
Yeah.
And to make sure that person doesn't get up after that knockout. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
You down.
Yeah.
You staying down, right? So
Vince Carter, it's over.
Yeah, that's right.
right?
That's right.
John Cena, right? But like that's literally it. It's like you have to have that humility. Like that. I mean, for me, that's what makes me so dangerous. Is like I've already been through so much. So it's like behind the stage, it's like you're not gonna make me nervous. I'm nervous because of what I've went through.
Right.
And
Not
I'm
nervous because of you.
No, I know. No, but like, so it's just like this situation, this moment, anybody that I'm facing on stage, and this is very minute in the grand scheme of things and what I want to accomplish, and what I feel like I've been through, and what I feel like I could take.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Okay.
I want to go back to when we were talking about, and I can just tell just by talking with you that you're extremely competitive. This might be the first time I'm meeting someone that's as competitive as me. You know, if me and Jeff
And actually wins things, but that's okay.
like if me and Jeff had a competition of who can stand on one foot the longest, I'm giving it everything I've got.
Yeah.
Right. So
Yes.
I've always told people, you know, when it comes to competition, for me anyways, it's not always about winning. It's about wanting to win. Right. I can take a loss and I can say, you know what, that person was better than me. But going into whatever it is, it doesn't matter if it's a bodybuilding competition or standing on one foot the longest. It's
rolling
about
a
one.
barbell over your glutes to
That's
see
right.
if your glutes
Yeah.
stop. And
It's
you
about-
lost that one big time.
It's about
Still rolling.
It's about wanting to win, right?
Yes. And okay, I have a question to throw you. Okay.
Yeah.
Would you choose youth or wisdom?
Oh,
wisdom.
Yeah, I think I would say wisdom.
yeah, I think so too.
And
I
that's
think so too.
and I think when you look at that answer, what is it about wisdom, right? It's the fact that there's so much knowledge, right? And when you look at youth, it's often a sense of lack of, right? They're in the process of building themselves to become wise. Exactly.
Well, in the same sense, though, is you can become wise while still being young, depending on the trajectory of life and what you've gone through.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. And to add to that, a lot of the times that is a result of going through things that are far outside of what the norm is for that particular youth, I guess.
Exactly,
If
yeah.
that's the best way of saying it.
Yeah, for sure.
So yes, I agree.
Yeah.
So going forward, you educated me because I was unaware. Out for U1, you're the defending UK Arnolds. That's no longer a competition. Right. You just competed at the Arnolds in figure, and that category is gone.
Yes.
So can you explain that transition in your life? Where do you have to pivot? Are you still excited about where you are and in the sport, in the sport of bodybuilding?
In sport. I think in this beautiful, beautiful sport of bodybuilding, I'm very excited because it's really limitless, right? I mean, I understand that there have been shows taken away that for the competitor, like the removal of these shows is not only like the obvious removal of these shows, but I think it stems a lot deeper than that. You know, you have a show in December and then you have a show in the fall, in a sense. So the way I look at it is they're kind of 6 months apart, right? So it helps you as a brand and as an athlete have something to look forward to that's just as big as the Olympia. From a consumer's point of view, from an athlete's point of view, from a promoter's point of view, those shows are huge in the energy that they bring to everyone to the sport. The winter is a very depressing time. We all know this. So when you're getting ready to prep for a show and you submerge yourself in that Arnold's atmosphere, which I still recommend anyone who's never been to just go and experience, because it is like an amazing experience.
Yeah.
Like there's nothing like it. You want to feel like you're going to start deadlifting boosts? That's the place. Okay?
Yeah.
Like that's the place. Like honestly, after that, you will find a coach, you'll throw on the Speedo and you'll start doing the poses, right? Like that's how motivating it is. So it really, really sucks that we no longer have a platform to showcase. These platforms and these big shows are opportunities for us to be able to showcase not only ourselves and our brand, but also the division. Right. So when you remove these big shows, you actually remove the representation of this division to someone who may be suited for this division, who is or struggling to fit or stay in somewhere else.
Right. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
So like me, when I first learned about bodybuilding, when I first came upon bodybuilding, which was in 2018, like I knew nothing of this stuff, nothing.
Blows my mind.
I actually,
Blows my mind.
I actually found out about bodybuilding. Generation Iron was on television, and I was doing house cleaning. I was sweeping. Okay, and I was watching this documentary as I'm cleaning, and I'm realizing this exists. Like,
Wow.
I was just
crazy.
like,
Right? It's just, it's
and I was just like,
unbelievable.
dude, I've been made fun of my whole life for these muscles, and I've been made to feel like I'm like I started really feeling like, yo, where's the X-Men sign up? Because like, yo, your girl's here, you know what I'm saying? Like I could like transform.
Yeah.
But like when I saw this whole other world, I was like, I was meant to do that. I was meant to do that right away. When I saw like the top lineup, I was like, yo, I got this.
Yeah.
Easy,
Right.
boom,
Yeah.
got it.
You watched it and you said I could do that.
Yeah, I got it. I was like, I should be there. Like, how do I get there?
Right.
How do I get
Yeah.
there the fastest? And yeah,
So when you're backstage and you're about to step on,
Mhm.
and you do step on,
right.
are you mentally okay? I'm competing against that.
No.
But no, you're competing internally.
I'm not competing against anybody.
Okay.
I'm performing.
Okay.
Yeah. So I have a different like mindset on it because I feel like, okay. So I feel like bodybuilding is just as much sport, but it's also entertainment, right? Like sport is entertainment.
Absolutely.
So when you look
100%.
at what a sport is, regardless of what it is, okay, we could be using the stick and pushing the marble down the sidewalk, okay? Okay. Remember that?
Right, the race is on.
Right. It has to have three things, right? It has to have a level of competitiveness, right? It has whether that's you versus someone else or team versus teams,
Sure.
right? It has to have a level of skill, regardless on what that consists of, whether it's flexing on stage, whether it's picking up something, whether it's slapping a bitch, you know.
Yeah. There is a new league called slap.
Yep.
Off, right?
Okay,
Yes,
so
there is.
and that's
that's a sport.
it's a
And
sport.
you're just slapping each other.
Just slapping each other.
Yeah.
And why is it a sport? Because it hits all three of those marks.
Yeah.
As long as it hits all three of those marks, it kind of qualifies as a sport. But I think where bodybuilding, there's that discrepancy is like we kind of forget that this is fucking entertainment.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like, bro,
Yeah.
those fans, if there's no one to fill those seats, honey, who are you twirling for?
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
So that is the most important. They are number one.
Yeah.
So when you have that mindset, when I walk out on stage, I'm here, baby. I'm here for the fans. I'm here to perform. Why? Because I'm here for them.
Yeah.
If I do this thing like, oh, I'm gonna flex up on this girl, I'm gonna flex up on this girl, honey, the fans are gonna be like, yo, what's wrong with this girl? Like she needs to use the washroom, or she's like holding something in, or I don't know, something looks unnatural here. But like, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
Like, they're
absolutely.
not feeling the energy.
Yeah.
So when I step out on stage, my goal is to like exude as much, you know, powerful, sensual, captivating energy as possible, so that I get that. See that guy all the way in the back over there who's like wiping something down, cleaning his. That guy's gonna come all the way to the front and sit right here and watch me.
Right.
That's the point.
Okay. Love it. Love it.
Yeah.
Did you want to talk about mind-muscle connection?
Oh yeah. So some people have this idea that mind-muscle connection is everything, and some people think that it's all hype. What are your thoughts on the mind-muscle connection when training, when anything?
Well, I think you could sum it up like the mind is a very powerful thing, right? Like placebo is very real. You know, sometimes
Oh,
when
100%.
we feel we're sick, you know, all of a sudden, hold on,
Yeah.
I got a fever,
Yeah.
now I'm sweating, now, you know what I mean,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
Or the opposite, you feel you're fine when you feel sickness coming on, all of a sudden you're good.
Yeah.
Same thing applies to fitness, wellness. It depends on the goal, obviously. It depends on your goal. If your goal is just to lift, pick up that weight by whatever means necessary, then I could see where you could just go through the motion. The thing is, For me, staying connected is extremely important. You've got to stay connected to what you're doing. If you're just doing leg extensions and homeboy's talking to you about the game, you're not going to get a pump. Like you're not going to, at the very least, you're not going to work out that muscle group that you're intending on working out.
100%.
To the extent that you can.
To the extent that you can.
Yeah.
You
Totally
could be
agree.
working out, biceps when you're trying to work out something else. Like you could be like, you know what I mean? So like, I think also too, when you utilize and you practice and you train this mind to muscle connection, because it is an exercise. You do have to practice.
It's
and
an exercise
train.
in the exercise.
It's honey, yeah. So we comboing now. We combo.
Yeah.
It's like if you're gonna go work out and lock in.
Lock all the way in.
Yeah.
All the way in. Put on that music and connect with the soul of and the energy of that music. Connect with the workout. Connect with your body. Connect with what it is. What is the intent? That's what I always say. Like move with intent.
Yeah.
So what are we trying to do?
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Are we trying to build a glutes? Are we trying to build hamstrings? Okay, so you have to visualize the glute muscle. You have to visualize the hamstring. Visualize it tearing like a piece of paper, tearing slowly. That's how your mind should visualize those fibers ripping and
Oh,
tearing.
great analogy.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Do you have clients that sometimes are like talking during their sets and you're just like, bro,
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
I am aggressively very good at shutting that down.
Yeah.
I will point and be like, let's go.
Yeah, focus.
Stop.
Yeah.
Let's
Or like
go.
even
We
when
can
you're
talk
working out
after.
and people are talking, you're like, shut the fuck up.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Like wait until I'm done my
And
set.
the mind can also be an anchor, a dagger, because if you're not in the positive frame of mind
Exactly.
on stage or pushing iron,
Exactly.
you're not getting the same connection either, right?
No.
Like no one sat on the toilet of diarrhea going, oh, I'm having a really good day.
Yeah.
Like the mind
you
and the
know what,
muscles
though?
are
You might feel that way
connected.
after,
They're
though.
You can
I'm
sit
just
there
saying.
and,
Yeah,
and
yeah.
let it go and go, wow, that was great.
That's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying.
I didn't say there wasn't a positive ending.
Right.
That's where that medical attention comment came
Yeah.
from, right?
Buddy,
Them
we're
razor
gonna go
blades,
there
bro.
today.
Them razor blades.
We're going there today. I'm telling you. Anything else for you, Pop?
One last thing. You are obviously one of the best people in the world at what you do, in the sport of bodybuilding. If one of them, I think.
I think there's a lot to learn.
If there was
Awesome.
something else
I
in the
love that.
world that you could do and compete with the best people in the world, what would that be for you?
I like that.
I would definitely, just because I did it before and I loved it so much, soccer for sure. Soccer, and again, possibly track and field. Like my Jamaican girls are killing it.
What events did you compete in?
I did 100 meter, 4x100, triple jump, long jump, javelin, like I said before, and I tried the 200. Not really my thing. But yeah, that was about it. So yeah,
That's a great cross of events.
yes.
Like the 4x1 and javelin.
Javelin, yes. And
Right,
and the triple jump, long jump, like those were triple jump and long jump is my thing. Like that was my thing.
Right on.
That was my thing. So maybe that's why I got the calves. Maybe.
Yeah, yeah.
That was my problem. I wasn't doing long jump.
Well, it's the
triple
lower
jump.
body, pal. You got a lot more problems in your calves. Jeff, anything else, pal?
So you're already qualified for the Olympia.
Correct.
And I know we touched base on how you like to do shows, but you have the Toronto Pro Show,
June 4th.
June 4th,
Mhm.
and then Olympia again. Why the Toronto Pro Show if you're already qualified for the Olympia? What's the mentality behind that?
Because I'm here to bury everyone. No. In reality, okay, so like when you start out in your bodybuilding journey and you're trying to, like, the big dream is to make it to the Olympia, right?
Mhm.
So the majority of athletes will not win their first show, right? So you're going to do like a circuit of shows in order to rack up points, but they don't have the point system anymore. But you're going to do a circuit of shows in order to win and to qualify for the Olympia.
Right.
When you kind of get into this routine, I think I like to call it that. I don't like, for me, I don't advise like changing that, right? Like I don't advise changing that game plan. If it worked for you to kind of warm up into shows before you hit the big show, like that should be the way that you conduct your regular seasons. Going in, you never go into battle with a dull blade, right?
Right.
Yeah.
So
Yeah. Well said.
Stay sharp.
stay sharp.
Yeah.
When you qualify for the Olympia, and I've seen it happen, and it happened at this Olympia, and you run that risk because you don't know, especially if it's your first time qualifying. You're like, okay, I qualified. I'm that bad bitch now. You know what I'm saying? Everybody's looking at me. Now I got the whole year to chill and sip my sangrias. You know what I'm saying? Now I get to, but when it comes down to Olympia time now, have you perfected bringing in your body crisp on point consistently to know that on Olympia day, you're going to be 100%?
Yeah.
Right.
And if there is that, if there's 1% chance you're like, I don't know, then you should be doing like a show beforehand to sharpen yourself up. Now, I'm not saying I don't believe that I have the ability to come in 100. I have beyond the ability to come in consistently. I think I'm one of the most consistent athletes. Every show I get better. But in order to get better mentally, physically, environmentally, you need to be there.
Yeah.
You ain't gonna be a champion on your couch, honey, watching the Real Housewives of whatever. It's just not gonna happen. Like, you've got to be backstage. You've got to be sweating it out with us. Yeah. You've got to get over those nerves. You got to battle me on the line. Yeah. And you've got to take from those wins or those losses. Like, that's just how you become a better champion, right? Yeah. Yeah. So for the Toronto Pro, when I announced that I was doing it, I had so many girls drop out. And I honestly, like, I'm kind of like, obviously on like the grand scheme, you're like, oh great, I can, it's whatever, easy show, woohoo. But in reality, that shit really pisses me off. Like, it really pisses me off.
Because you want to compete against the best.
I want to compete against the best, and it's a lot bigger than us.
Yeah.
Like, this shit is bigger than
Very
us.
Yeah.
The more pros, the more of us gorgeous women miss that stage because we feel like we can't win. Great. You're just showing the promoter that the figure category can't fill seats, can't fill tickets, can't whatever. Right. The young girls that are watching these shows are now only seeing a certain age demographic, which they can't relate to. So that brings a whole other problem where it's like, if they feel like they can't relate because they don't see someone, that kind of like, oh yeah, I want to be like that, or I can relate to her, or I like that, or yes, or whatever. If there isn't if there isn't diversity in the characters in this play, no one's gonna watch it. Yep. Right?
Great point.
So when you do these shows, like when you have pros who do multiple shows, I think we should look at it differently. I think we should be like so grateful that these big name pros are giving us the opportunity to learn from them, to learn from what they do backstage, learn from what they do on stage, learn from how they move, how they just like study the game. Like, no one studies the game. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. And I think I've done so well because I'm a quick bitch. Like, you can't, like, you know what I'm saying? Call me a motherfucking sentinel out here, honey, because you're trying to, I got you, right? Like, you know what I mean? Like, so my advice on top of that would be, if you see somebody who's already pre-qualified for the Olympia, I understand because I was new once too. And I understand that feeling of like, oh gosh, here we go, on to her 20,000th win, and she's qualified for the 30th time. And you know what I mean? Yeah. I get it. I understand that frustration. But at the same time, we've got to flip our mentality and understand that it doesn't matter if this girl or myself competes in another 10 shows and I win all 10 of those shows. That's irrelevant, because you have to be better in order to earn that spot. And that's just
Absolutely.
What it is.
Don't run away from that.
You should be wanting to compete with people that are better than you.
Because at the Olympia, we're all there.
Yeah.
At the Olympia, you can't hide from us, right? So it's like, if you're trying to qualify off of some like, you know what I'm saying, garage sale show, you know what I'm saying, you were the only one there, and like you're tooting your horn now and you're feeling saucy, legend, #icon,
you're gonna get smoked.
What ends up happening is you end up getting a fucking slap of humility. Yeah. And a lot of competitors don't know how to handle that, right? Yeah. You need to come in a little bit like, okay, I got my pad and my pen and my paper. and I'm ready to learn.
Yeah.
Every show, I'm gonna learn. Doesn't matter if I come second or 12th. Standing second, first, second, third, fourth, fifth to an Olympian holds so much, and a top Olympian.
Yeah.
Not Olympian who comes last. That's irrelevant, right?
Yeah.
But a top Olympian, it holds so much merit to me now as an athlete coming up in the game. You know what I'm saying? Now I have some comparison, right?
Yeah.
To someone who's actually progressing with an upwards trajectory.
Right.
Yeah.
Stop comparing yourself to the girls who are coming last and
Yeah.
who are not making it.
That's
It doesn't
right.
make sense.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
Totally.
Okay. Rapid fire questions. You ready? I'm sure you've seen a couple of the episodes.
definitely not ready, but
Yeah,
let's go.
Okay, let's go for it.
I'm gonna fill them all just so we know. Okay.
Who makes you want to be a better person?
My kids.
Yeah.
I don't have kids.
Mr. No Kids?
Himself.
My mom.
Himself. Your mom.
Himself.
That's good.
Aw.
What's your favorite clothing brand?
Whatever fits.
What brand is that? I haven't heard of that one.
Yeah, right? Yeah. No favorites?
no, I don't-
Under Armour, Nike, Adidas?
I like Nike. I like Nike.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
What's
If you had-
yours?
What's that?
What's yours?
Under Armour. I only wear
This is
Under
AK.
Armour and Nike. I have an Under Armour tattoo and a Nike tattoo. Sadly. If you had the opportunity to fly to space, would you go?
Space?
Yeah.
Fuck
I
yeah.
don't know.
No.
Well, wait. Would you
I
rather-
knew you were a no for sure. I
Would
knew
you
you were a
rather
no.
do space or deep dive the ocean?
I'd rather deep dive the ocean.
Deep dive the ocean.
I'm good, bro.
Yeah, I'm good.
You know what? I got my
Right
VR.
here.
I got my VR, and you know, I got that experience going on. You know what I'm saying? I'm like, ooh, you know, I'm good.
Okay, what sound would you make if you were freezing cold? Oh,
That's the sound.
I can't beat that.
Yeah, that's.
What's the longest you've gone without a shower, Corey?
Goodness
Without a
gracious.
shower.
Without a shower.
I don't want to hear these responses.
You know what?
Yeah, I know, right?
A couple days
An
going
hour.
camping.
Yeah, I was gonna say.
That's what I was thinking,
Yeah,
do
when I was
camping.
with Paulino
You
and
go
Josh, yeah, a
camping,
few
and
days.
if you put on that Scenty fucking soap stuff, that bugs are all over you. So
That's right. And
Fuck
don't put
that.
Axe spray on pal because those bugs.
I
love
don't
that
use.
shit,
I haven't
man.
used Axe spray
Don't go
since
there
like grade
'cause-
8.
nope,
So
we're not gonna go there, grade 8.
I became
gonna
a
say,
man.
that's like-
What logo is built into the FedEx logo? What symbol is built into the FedEx logo? Between
man.
the E and the X.
The
You should
mail.
know this.
Yeah, I
Yeah,
literally
so
work
What
for
symbol? What symbol's built into the logo?
You know what symbol is my Fashion Nova packages are built into those? Okay, that is the only thing that I noticed.
I will guarantee
okay?
you will not be able to unsee it once I tell you.
It's the-
They show it in the
What
commercial.
symbol? It's an arrow facing to the right. Trust me, you'll never unsee it again.
forward, mail forward.
If you could trade places with one person in the world for a day, who would it be?
LeBron James.
Oh my God.
Yeah, so you can know what it's like to be
Honest
tall.
to God, man. Just open a book.
That is
For Christ's sakes, open a book.
I would probably say Kevin Hart. I would say Kevin.
Ah, that's a good answer.
Yeah, I
See,
like
I
Kevin.
So
think
you'd
that's
be an
good.
inch taller.
I might. No. I
What
think
about
I'd be
you?
shorter.
About the same.
That's right. If I could trade, I don't know. I think I would like to do some type of like we were saying earlier, because I personally wouldn't. But if I could trade places with somebody, do some type of exploring, some type of like I don't know
Jacques
what his
Cousteau.
I don't know what his name was, but he was on like Joe Rogan. He was talking about like mythology and like ancient history and all that kind
that
of
would
stuff.
be cool.
I really dig that shit.
Okay.
bro. Yeah, really dig that shit.
What
No pun
if you
intended.
came with a warning label? What would it say? I'm looking at you specifically.
Careful, this one's spicy.
Asshole.
Yeah. Okay. I had a couple of other adjectives. So that's okay. What about you?
A
Small.
warning label.
Yeah.
Large object appears larger.
Yeah. No, but you blew it already. But yeah, you blew it already.
I was
Nate-
thinking objects appear smaller.
Yeah, they actually,
reality.
Yeah, in reality. Okay, so you should get this.
Okay.
What are the 4 C's when you're shopping for a diamond?
Carrot.
You look
Clarity,
for clarity,
carrot.
carrot.
Fuck.
Nope.
Well, hold on.
That starts with an F. Starts with an F.
Clarity, carrot. Concentration.
Nope.
You should know this.
Nope.
No.
You should know this. He should know this.
Clarity,
Right?
carrot.
They know it.
Yeah.
I
Yeah,
I wasn't like,
that's
what's
true.
the first C? That's a great C.
It's called cash. Yeah, there you go.
X is
Yeah.
credit.
Yeah, okay, still a C. So it's cut, clarity, color, and carrot.
Oh,
Right? Cut, clarity, color, and clarity. I think whatever it is. Again, that's the end of our episode. Lola Montez, thank you so much. Absolute pleasure. We will have you back. Please, please, please. And remember to like and subscribe. We'll see you soon.
Do it.
This episode of Kultured Kast is made possible by Paul Sadlin Motors, your local Chevrolet, Buick, GMC, Cadillac dealer on Bayfield Street in Barrie and online at paulsadlin.com.
Breaking news! If you like that and you want more of it, go to our YouTube channel, like and subscribe, and we're on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, and all the other stuff.